I feel bad for athletes sometimes. People know how much money you make off the rip. You're constantly under a watchful eye, and it's easy to see where and when you're working. So if someone wanted to target your home, it'd be an easy mark, which is why athletes across the NBA and NFL have been warned recently that they are currently being targeted by a transnational crime ring and to take additional precautions. So it would make sense that Joe Burrow would have a guest go to his home to thwart potential burglars while he was leading the Bengals to victory over the Cowboys, except it didn't, and now everybody is up in Burrow's business. So what had happened was, at some point over the weekend, Burrow's house was burglarized and someone called to report it to police. And unfortunately for Burrow, in the age of technology and sheer nosiness, now everybody knows that it was swimwear model Olivia Panton, which is not necessarily a bad thing to be tied to a Sports Illustrated swim model, but I just get the feeling that Burrow is more of a private kind of guy. Now, he was in a long-term relationship, and whether or not that relationship is still in existence, who knows? It's not really anybody's business. But you know, the internet always wants to play detective. Even if Olivia is his side piece, maybe he is allowed to have additional partners in his relationship. We don't know. Why don't y'all mind y'all business? So the fumble of the week this week goes to nosy ass fans who are just as eager to out somebody for what's going on in their private life as they used to be about somebody's sports greatness, right? And if you're that desperate to solve a crime, go figure out who has been breaking into these athletes' homes, okay? Use your detective skills for something productive. Samaria, do you ever think we'll get back to a place where people will stop being so fascinated by the personal lives and mess of athletes?
When did we ever live in a society where people did not like salacious?
Oh, I remember a time.
Headlines.
I remember a time when it was just like, yo, Michael Jordan shielded. A lot of athletes were shielded. Their transgressions were protected.
But they were on the Inquirer or whatever tabloids.
Yeah,
and people were buying them and people were gossiping about them. As long as people are on these phones and they are liking and retweeting and sharing all of this gossip, it's always going to be a thing.
I loathe it. And again, I recognize that I am a member of the media to a degree, and by virtue of having this conversation, I am perpetuating this story, right? I get it. I try to the best of my ability when we have these kind of conversations, navigate it from the standpoint of encouraging people to mind their business as opposed to talking about people's business. And because I just don't understand why we are so consumed with people's personal lives and the downfall of people, especially. Like, it just feels like people are so much more eager to discuss negative things about people. And you know, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I feel bad that, you know, if Joe Burrow is in a situation where now he's having to explain to maybe his parents or friends and associates how he's navigating his personal life, it's just like, damn, all because my house got burglarized. As Kendrick said it, you're better off just having one woman right now. Everything's tricky. Everything is tricky right now. You dig me?
Anything that's salacious, like I think back in the day, we used to call it journalism. If it bleeds, it leads. I'm trying to find some cute thing to say, but it's like, if it's scandalous, that's what people want to hear. That's what people want to gossip about. That's what people want to retweet. I don't really know how we could get to a place where we're not focused on that. I don't know. I think we're too far gone at this point.
It'll be hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. You know, maybe if people had lives, maybe people had friends, jobs, you know, if the economy was better. You know, if I was a celebrity, I'm really envious of the celebrities that, or the people in general who just don't exist on social media like that. They're completely tapped out of social media in a real way. And I think people have to stop sharing so much, because the more you share, the more people care. And the ecosystem around sharing what's going on in your personal life has become a legitimate job market of sorts.
It's a job, you know? Influencers,
right. And we're never gonna have any more superstars, bro. Like, because the mystique of the superstar is gone, and so now these people who are special humans and special beings we don't even identify them as that because we have so much access to them, and so now they've been devalued. And it's like, we shouldn't have this much access to this individual, and these people shouldn't have this much access to me. So it's a cycle, and I'm looking forward to the day where it breaks or I just break up out of it.
Yeah, and I feel like even to that point, if you don't share that much, people have criticized Beyonce for years because how is she going to sell hair care products, or everything that she tried, Ivy Park, all the things that she tries to launch, they don't do well because she's not personable. She doesn't share that much of her life. So it's such a, it's just so weird.
I'm going to bring race into it. There is like, you can be a white billionaire and walk down the street and nobody knows who you are. Right? Mm-hmm. There's this idea that like, in order to, especially in the black community, be like lit and be famous or be rich, all these things, like people have to know so much about you. We have to overexploit our personal lives in order to sell a product. And it's just like, Phil Knight at Nike, we don't know much about his personal life. Like what? Like we still buy Nikes. So why do I need to have so much information about what's going on in Beyonce's personal orbit in order to support any of her products, or Rihanna? I don't like how we have to be so face forward in order to have an equitable opportunity in our community. It's kind of whack. Yeah. Y'all let us know your thoughts on the fumble of the week. How do you feel about Joe Burrow being outed for having a swimsuit model be in his home at the time of it being burglarized? And are we as a society just way too invested in the personal lives of celebrities and athletes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.